Bermain bersama Geek Fam membuatkan saya sedar yang ML bukan sekadar permainan. Bila kami menjulang trofi di season 3, ia membuka sesuatu yang baru dalam diri saya.
Namun, ada cinta yang lebih membara.
Bila tengok balik semua kenangan, MPLMY buat kami menjadi saudara, menjadi satu komuniti yang berkongsi impian yang sama.
Kali ini, milik kita, Malaysia!
Kepada semua yang menonton, terima kasih kerana melalui suka dan duka bersama kami di setiap era.
Jump into the fight with the spirit to sacrifice to achieve a victory for the team. The backbone from SRG OG Esports, the one-man army crowd will face the on-base fighter from CG, yeah, Restream! Being a jungler isn't just about making highlight plays. They are also the player that can turn things around with a clutch steal. Introducing the Sky Prince, Sky! And his opponent, the reawakened assassin, Gary! Controlling the battlefield from the mid lane, dealing damage and providing utility for victories in the fight. Witness the Mage Prodigy, Stormy! Against the man who can do it all, the legendary Chiku! Introducing the roamer of SRGOG Esports, the driving force, the playmaker, the iron wall for the team. He is the legend in the making, you! And his opponent, the architect of victory for CG, Balance! When you need them the most, they will be there. They will carry. They will turn the tides of victory in their favor. This is the half-man, half-beast, Innocent! Against the rookie of the season, Hamza. And now, it is our pleasure to introduce the brains of the team. They are responsible for building this team from Salago Red Giants, OG Esports, Coach Arcadia, and Coach Ozra Vecchi. From CG Esports, Coach Rain and Coach Cody. Time this season. Let's call for the fist bumps between the teams. This is the grand finals between Salago Red Giants OG Esports and CG Esports. Let the grand finals begin!
Maesterdam, are you ready? Make some noise! Wow! Wow! Rasa macam N-Series dengan Malaysia sekali lagi, guys. Sepanjang musim, kita saksikan kejatuhan kebangkitan kalah menang di antara 10 pasukan yang bertanding. Sekarang berbaki 2 sahaja, CG Esports dan Selangor Red Giant OG. Tepat sekali, finalis kita yang pertama 3 kali kejuaraan berturut-turut, SRG OG Esports pastinya menginginkan kejuaraan yang keempat. Mereka tidak pernah kenal reti pantang mengalah, Ros, kat sini. Yes, betul tu, Sif. Tapi sebelum kita mulakan kita punya match hari ini, we would like to take this opportunity to say terima kasih kepada semua pihak yang got us to this very moment, to Grab, Ferry dan juga Salcom Digi, and of course kepada semua pihak sponsor kita di MPL Malaysia. Thank you so much. Tak kisah apa yang berlaku pada hari ini, satu juara akan dijulang, tetapi apa yang bakal terjadi akan jadi titik sejarah. Mungkin kali pertama 4 kali juara, mungkin pemecah tradisi
sekali lagi satu pasukan baru menjadi juara.
Yang penting kedua-duanya sudah mewakili Malaysia untuk ke peringkat antarabangsa M7. Tapi hari ini hanya satu yang mengangkat piala ini.
Betul tu. The question is, who will be the champion tonight? Will it be SRG OG sekali lagi untuk mendapatkan forfeit mereka, ataupun CG Esports will complete their Cinderella story? Kita akan tahu selepas kita tengok Best of 7 pada malam ini.
Lagu baru kita dah pasang. Wira Arena, sedap ke tak? Tapi sekarang Ros, pemain dah bersedia. Dua-dua pasukan tak tahu apa bakal jadi hari ini.
Kita nak cheer dulu tak?
Cheer boleh.
Okey, mana fan CG Sport? Okey. Bro, aku dekat CG Sport. Alright. Kita nak cheer sebelum kita mulakan perlawanan yang paling intens untuk musim kali ini. Alright.
SRG OG!
Okay, not bad. Alright. CG Esports!
Thank you very much, everyone. And now we are starting the first draft of this grand finals. And looks like the map, it's going to be Expanding Rivers, Welcome Back, Stafa, as well as Midnight. Let's start the draft.
Man, I cannot contain my excitement, my hype for the upcoming series. Now it goes down to the technicality. We see the bans here, and I feel like for CG, honestly, they've prepared so much last night. Now they remove the hero of Pram, they removed the CZ, but SRG OG giving respect as well. They don't want to give the Yuzong to CG Esports.
We already saw prior how Yatri was basically able to secure and stabilize losing positions with this Yuzong alone. And SRG OG does not want to leave that up to chance.
Yeah, but look at this, ladies and gentlemen. There is something that they've prepared last night. CG themselves, they ban Chico's Kimi.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? We're going to big brain this and not leave it to chance. They might actually leave it open, so we're just going to get rid of that. But yeah, right now CC, Fanny, as well as the Kimi has been banned. SRG, they banned out the Kalia as well as the Yuzong. Now, the first pick is going to be very important here because I really feel like for CG to do really well, I really feel like Gary's got to care. I feel like Gary needs those assassins.
Yeah, honestly, I think CG, they might get themselves the Lancelot first pick, force Sekais into very unfamiliar heroes. I mean, there's still the YSS, but there will be proper counters on the side of CG, and I do love the performance of their jungler on the Lancelot. I would actually prefer the Lance over the Eastern Shin, but instead, they go for the Eastern Shin themselves.
Looks like CG going to want to switch things up just a little bit. Now, Yisun Shin does open up the draft a lot for CG Esports. They've already been known to be more of a late game scaling team, but with the Yisun Shin, they can not only go for the scaling options with things like triple marksman, they can also enable drafts like double fighter side lane to maybe give themselves a little more early momentum.
Yeah, now the God of Kacha and the Lapu Lapu comes out from SRG. I do think CG, they have a plan with this Lee Shin. Maybe force Sekais into heroes that he's not very, very scary, like something like a Joy, a Haya. But this is something crazy, honestly, from CG. They gave SRG OG a very strong opener, 2 strong frontline as well. And you mentioned this earlier, Lafel, when you see Yums, you see Cram. Especially these heroes, they jump and they do a lot of things in the front line.
Yeah, but now this is a fun fact. The last time Chico played in M-Series, it was M4 with Yums. And that was under Toda. This time they represent Malaysia with different teams. And CG, they opened up now with the Ruby as well as the Grok, leaving all options for basically for them to play double fighters. And I kind of feel like they're forced into this situation. I feel like this draft was reactionary because of that Harif ban, because now they know, okay, Ranger might not be the best hero to go up against SRG. Harif is not there. We gotta go Ruby very, very quickly.
Yeah, I feel like that's very, very true. And I do like that the response is a good response as well, because usually we see Ruby on the second phase here in MPLMY. But with this, with this pick, coming out from CG, it does give the flex factor for both the XP and gold laner, and it's actually a good matchup as well. And it goes against the heroes that Sekai's might picked up. Now you see the Lancelot on the side of SRG OG, but I think they have the right tools on the side of CG to deal with Sekai's.
Yeah, personally, I do like putting the Ruby in the first half of the draft here. We already know that Amzic's hero pool is a little bit on the smaller side, and this is one of the few fighters that he does excel on, and teams have already taken to banning it out if it gets let go towards the second phase. So just pick it up early. While it can be countered, you will typically be okay in the gold lane.
Right now I'm worried because SRGOG, they're already opening up with their best heroes.
Yeah.
Right? Cram got the gameplay of the season with this Lapu, and we saw how Yums has been playing throughout the entire playoffs with this Gacha, crazy flanks, crazy engages, and now we're even seeing Sekai's on this Lancelot.
Yeah.
It looks like both teams, well, more on SRGOG, looks like they're going to start with their best foot forward.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta get a momentum on a series like this. Winning game 1 is everything for a lot of teams, and SRGOG, they want to give CG a very hard time in game number 1. That's why for me it's kind of weird that CG gave the Lancelot and took He's and Shin.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a plan behind this. I do feel like they're drafting a very good composition around Gary this time around. But for SRGOG, they just understand where CG's draft is heading towards. They remove the Alice because they know the Ruby's probably going to be gold lane.
Yep.
But on SRGOG, you don't even know if the Lapu's going XP or gold, because Innocent could just whip up a Lapu gold lane and then have Cram as the ultimate last pick.
Now, honestly, that's very true here. SRGOG, they banned out the Alice. At this point, I feel like they're just protecting Stormy because all the other heroes here are kind of self-sustainable.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest question for both teams is really just that mid. And now even the Lunos gets banned out. So look at this, a lot of mid heroes are getting banned out. And between Stormy and Chiku, I feel like Stormy, he really doesn't care how much hero gets banned out.
But I do like the response of getting rid of the Selena. The Lunox ban is very rare here from SRG OG, so it instantly makes you think, okay, they're getting rid of one of the mid heroes with the best invulnerability. Maybe they're trying to go for some catch, right? Stormy has been known for Selena. It's a hero that he pulls out not very often, but when he does, just ruins the game for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, this Lunox ban is just very well done coming up from SRG OG. Hitting 2 stones, hitting 2 targets with 1 stones.
I'm worried about Louis.
Sorry?
I'm worried about Louis because sometimes Stormy just goes a long time not showing it, and then all of a sudden it pops up. And now Xborg here. Oh, and because Valen.
Yeah.
They banned it themselves.
They banned the Valentina. Now Xborg wins.
Which shows they might want it, Xborg, right?
Exactly. This wins both matchups, honestly, for CG. And now, because of this Ease and Shin, you're kind of forced in a situation where if you're CG, your main window of winning this game is probably before 15 minutes. But after that, Xborg is almost unkillable.
Feels like they're forcing a Farsa as well, because if not, who's gonna destroy the Paraga armor?
Yeah, but even then, you pick up the Farsa, there's Gatot, there's Lapu, very well covered draft coming out from SRGOG. But now CG, they're kind of put in a weird spot here where they need to take heroes, even though they're countered. It's just essential to this lineup. But oh my goodness, Amzik!
All right.
Goes back to the Natan. He's going to be up against either Lapu or Xborg. I do think it's okay if he reaches level 4. But my problem is the timing. You do have a problem with, SRGOG's window where they're just very, very strong mid-game.
Yeah, but I do like the pivot right here, right? You could see that CG was considering going double fighter, but since they saw the export, they knew, okay, we need a marksman, we need consistent damage here. So they go for the Natan, go for some comfort, also picking up the Farsa at the same time, since they have very squishy heroes that can be punished by the feathered airstrike if it does end up going to SRGOG. But I'm very curious about this final pick. It is very rare that Stormy gets picked last, and it looks like it's a Novaria.
But the thing about last picking Stormy, this is what Arcadia does in grand finals, because for some reason it looks like when they scrim, they just figure out one hero that Stormy can use to counter the opposing lineup. Did it before with the Nana, this time with the Novaria. And I feel like CG, they want to play to what won them against MV, which is having Chiku guys on a hero that's basically bait, and them trying to counteract that.
Yeah, I think that's the whole game plan here. You basically want to play around Gary, enable the guy that has been carrying you all throughout this playoffs. But for SRG OG, it kind of feels like this draft was pre-made, but with a little bit of a swerve. Honestly, the first 3 picks, it was very understandable. but then you pick up the Navaria on Stormy. I think at this point, they're just flexing on this draft.
Well, they are the defending champions after all. Ladies and gentlemen, the curtain draws. The expanding rivers bring about them the tides of change. As the first step towards the changing of eras shall now officially commence. Game 1 of the MPL Malaysia Season 16 Grand Finals begins now.
And now I would say for the benefit of CG here, they should probably take this just a little bit slow. Try to get any kind of mistake from SRG and not trying to force anything out themselves.
Yeah, and also just the fact that SRG recognizes that they want to play to their strengths. I feel like the Lapu was going to go gold lane and then, you know, the Export goes XP. But no, Cram, you need him on a playmaker. You need him on this Lapu. That's why Innocent is going to hold up on the Export once again. And then it's going to allow SRG to have some playmaker